Hey guys, I just wanted to introduce myself. My name's Courtney, and I live on this property with my husband and my 4 children. And we have a little bit of a unique story as to what brought us here. So I guess I would say that we are homesteaders because we do grow our food and we also raise animals to provide for our family. But this wasn't always what we did. In fact, we've just started this in the last 2 years or so, and it was not necessarily by choice. So if you caught our intro video, that sort of alluded to something happened to bring us to this point and to this property, but it didn't exactly tell you what it was. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw on a video that is going to explain a little bit more about our story and why we are a little different and what brought us here. And so anyways, come along with me and you guys can learn a little bit more about our journey and where we are. In the fall of 2019, I decided I wanted to maybe start growing a few things, and so my husband built me 5 raised beds on our old property. And then going into the summer of 2022, I asked him to build me 12 more, which he did, plus some cattle panel trellises, and it got a little bit big, but it was nice. But that property we were on was very sloped, and in fact we would get a lot of rain or a lot of water in the lower part of the property. So as far as expanding that garden area, I really wasn't sure what to do. We were also heavily treed, so to take down a lot of trees would be quite a lot of work to try to get a garden in another area that got enough sunlight. At the home with 5 acres, we were only allowed to have horses. We could have 5 horses, but we could not have any chickens, any goats, no other animals. And so that also was kind of a drawback for us. So when COVID hit in March of 2020, I kind of panicked. That was the first time I went to the grocery store and there was no food on the shelves. And before that, I didn't really put in all of these garden beds at the old property because I thought, oh, I have to grow all of our own food. And I just thought, you know what, it'll be fun. We can do this. We can have fresh salads in the summertime. But when COVID hit, that really changed my mindset. And everybody wants to say, you know, don't do things out of fear. That's not the right reason to do them. But I will tell you that fear was a huge motivator for me. So I started talking to my husband and we decided to go under contract on a home that had 56 acres. During that time, we sold our house. We never listed it. Someone just wanted to buy it. So we sold our house, or it was under contract. And the home with 56 acres, that ended up falling through because of some structural issues on the home. So we backed out of that. But our house was still sold. So we had a couple of weeks to find another house, and we did. We found a home on 23 acres. It was probably the only other home that was available at the time. It did give us the land. It did give us some flat land. And so that was really good. So when we moved here, we started very quickly clearing an area and building this garden. And this garden was built out of fear. And I know a lot of people don't like to talk about that, but I think food security is a real thing, especially right now. Our world is very uncertain. And I know that it's been a big motivator for me. I wouldn't say that I let it sort of rule my life and encompass everything that I do. It's not the driver of everything that I do, but it is definitely a large motivator for me. It is why in the summertime I will spend 4 to 5 hours down in this garden working. And now not all of it has to, you know, kind of be doom and gloom. There are a lot of positive things about gardening. Well, I mean, besides just the fact that you're feeding your family and you're saving a bit of money at the grocery store. We've learned a lot about food preservation, canning, pressure canning, dehydrating, freezing. None of this was ever my plan. I remember at our old property, my neighbor told me she was going to get 20 chickens, and she asked me if I wanted to get some. And I said to her, why in the world would anybody want chickens? I thought, I just want to, you know, keep my house clean and make sure my kids are doing good in school. And yeah, so this really was never my plan. Although it wasn't what I wanted, it has been very positive. It has taught my children a great work ethic. My children have learned a lot. We've learned a lot. But I would say that if you are thinking about growing a garden, this would be the year to do it. It is an investment initially, but the next year, you don't have to have such a great investment. This year I will have to bring in some compost, and that will cost me a little bit of money, but not nearly as much as what we invested installing this garden last year. If you're worried about food security, definitely put in 1, 2, 3, couple raised beds. You will be amazed at what you learn. Every season you will learn something. And you know, there'll be failures, but there'll also be great successes. And so I encourage you all to, you know, get outside and just see what you can do and see what you can grow. Because if it does get worse, that's great peace of mind. That's great comfort in my heart to know that my children will be fed and my family will be okay if something dire does occur. And so I hope you guys found this video encouraging, and I know it was a little bit real, but that's just kind of how this all started, and I just wanted to share that. Thank you guys so much for watching and spending a little time with me today. There definitely is going to be a lot more to see on our journey in this crazy homesteading life, so hopefully y'all will join us in the future as we continue to grow and learn and see what we can accomplish.